Although there has always been scandal in the love and hip-hop industry, the most recent rumors have the whole fan base on edge. Imagine Masika Kalysha, a lady who is known for speaking her mind, entering the public eye with accusations so strong they have the potential to destroy one of the most renowned couples on reality TV. Yes, we are referring to Mendeecees and Yandy Smith, two figures that fans believe to be untouchable, but are currently entangled in rumors of treachery, secrets, and a startling alleged affair. Never one to hold back, Masika's insinuation that there's more to Mendeecees' narrative than anyone has dared to utter aloud sparked the rumors. The internet took fire, timelines inundated with speculation. Was she just stirring the pot, or was she peeling back the veil on a reality that may change everything? Fans are already split. Others insist Masika is hiding receipts that could destroy Yandy, while others think her remarks are just derogatory. And if that's the case, their years-long idealized love story might be imploding right before our eyes. What precisely did Masika say, and how serious is this supposed scandal? The storm is only getting started, so stay tuned. Masika Kalysha has a reputation for facing trouble head-on. And this time, she was at the center of the most startling allegations the Atlanta Circle had seen in months. It started off subtly, with a few vague social media posts that initially appeared to be innocuous. Fans were making connections before she even stated a name because to her late-night tweets about treachery, a few Instagram stories in which she discussed women who think they're the only queen in the castle, and a furious tirade about loyalty. Mendeecees and Yandy were hauled into the storm by the murmurs that quickly spread like wildfire. Some of you out there think your love is untouchable. But the truth always finds its way out, Masika remarked, leaning in close to the camera during a live session and grinning mischievously. Her fans quickly rushed the comments section, asking to know who she was referring to. Don't get too comfortable. Within hours, sites grabbed the video and posted it alongside pictures of Mendeecees and Yandy. The headlines screamed that Masika had hinted at marital problems. Fans reacted quickly. Some dismissed it as Masika being sloppy, while others insisted that she was aware of something that the general public was unaware of. She just wants attention, retorted one fan, while another retorted, because Masika doesn't talk about anything without receipts. If she's disparaging Yandy and Mendeecees, oh baby, something's about to go down. Regardless of the viewpoint, curiosity had been piqued, and in the world of hip-hop and love, curiosity invariably degenerates into full-blown anarchy. Yandy and Mendeecees are solid. She needs to leave them alone. According to insiders behind the cameras, Masika and Mendeecees have been seen together more than once, and not only at public gatherings. A few hazy pictures of them appearing to be having a private talk in a lounge nook appeared online. The timing appeared strange, even though there was nothing incriminating about the photos. "I can't stay quiet when I see a woman being lied to," Masika wrote on social media the very following day. Despite having parallel lives, some of these men continue to smile as if everything is fine. That was sufficient to start a domino effect. Hashtags like Mendeecees exposed and Masika tells all became popular in a matter of days. In an attempt to find weaknesses in their allegedly unshakable friendship, fans analyzed every previous interview, every photo taken on the red carpet, and every episode clip featuring Yandy and Mendeecees. When Masika consented to film a scene with a fellow cast member who asked her directly what she meant, the tension escalated. Masika smirked as she sat back in her chair and sipped her drink carefully. She added, "Let's just say, Yandy ain't the only one who thinks she has Mendeecees' heart." The group was rocked by the revelation. "I know a different side to that man." And every response was captured on tape. Eyes widened, jaws fell, and whispers flooded the room. Constantly expressing her opinions, Erica Mena leaned forward and inquired, "Are you saying what I believe you're saying? Are you implying that there is a relationship between you and Mendeecees?" Masika's piercing laugh reverberated around the room. "I didn't say that," she said, "but lace it up if the shoe fits." The consequences were immediate. Fans debating in comment sections, bloggers sharing footage, news around the city. and even other reality stars from other franchises adding cryptic remarks. One person remarked, "Bin knew something wasn't right there," while another put a series of eye emojis beneath the video. Conversely, Yandy remained silent. Her silence only served to increase conjecture. Fans bombarded her postings with comments, pleading with her to reply, but she chose to ignore the clamor and keep posting about her family and brand as if nothing had happened. That quiet seemed dignified to many. It appeared to be fear to others. When Masika returned to social media with another indirect shot, the controversy intensified even further. "I'll never be second to nobody," she said as the caption for a photo of herself that she shared this time. Within minutes, people were tagging Mendeecees and Yandy and demanding answers to the question, "When a man shows you his real heart, believe it." Mendeecees eventually spoke up during a scene involving a group supper. When Spice gently inquired, "Hey, what's going on with these rumors?" The tension was already high. "I understand that Masika has something to say about you." Mendeecees leaned back, his eyes searching the table, his mouth clenched. "I have a wife and a family, and I'm not going to sit here and entertain nonsense. People are just chasing clout out here." Although his tone changed when Masika's name was spoken, it was still noticeable that the statement sounded genuine. "Man, he seemed a little too pressed," even Kirk Frost remarked under his breath. Rosita gave him a sidelong glance and said, "You caught that too?" Never one to give up, Masika clapped back online. "When the truth is revealed, it's always a case of clout chasing. It's funny how individuals want to portray themselves as family men on screen, yet have completely different lives off of it." The cast was split at this point. While some acknowledged they had seen things that didn't make up, others thought Masika was inciting drama merely to be relevant. "Look, I'm not saying Masika's telling the whole truth, but I've been around long enough to know when there's fire behind the smoke," said Erica Mina, who intensified her confessional. "Is Yandy thus silent and Mendeecees too defensive?" "No, something is wrong. The drama was cut off from the screen." Masika and Mendeecees were spotted by followers in similar places, often only a few hours apart. Although the video was too blurry to verify, one fan claimed to have seen both of them departing the same hotel. The headline, "Masika and Mendeecees caught at the same spot. What were they hiding?" was sufficient for blogs to run. According to reports, Yandy was having a private breakdown while continuing to avoid discussing it in public. She was seen saying, "I don't know what's true anymore," while crying, to a close friend in a leaked behind-the-scenes video. "I'm not even sure whom to believe. I feel like I'm losing all that I ever desired, a family that remained together." Her fans were moved by her vulnerability. Many flooded her page with comments of support, calling her strong, encouraging her not to let rumors ruin her spirit. Others, however, kept raising doubts about her silence. "We love you, Yandy, but if this ain't true, just say it," one fan said. "It seems real because of your quiet." But Masika wasn't finished. The room became silent when she shouted, "You can lie to her, you can lie to the cameras, but you can't lie to me. I know what it is," after a heated altercation during filming. With her hands clutched in her lap, Yandy's face tightened. "You're out of pocket," Mendeecees retorted, raising his voice. Masika's grin only got bigger as she said, "Don't sit here acting like you know me better than my own wife. Perhaps I don't have to perform. Perhaps I already do." The whole table exploded. Kirk shook his head in shock, Spice covered her mouth, and Erica let out a loud gasp. With her chair scuffing the floor, Yandy got up and left without a word. The cameras followed her as she whispered to herself, "I can't do this." Not in this manner. The consequences of that night were severe. Fans analyzed every look, every word, and every silence as social media erupted with videos and trending hashtags. While some believed Masika had just revealed the season's largest scandal, others criticized her for being clumsy and callous. But no matter where one stood, one thing was certain. The truth was still hidden in shadows, and this play was far from ended. The atmosphere in that room changed drastically after Yandy stormed out of that supper. As they all processed the bomb that Masika had just dropped, the cast members sat in stunned silence. With a nervous laugh, Spice eventually broke the silence, saying, Yo, this is messy. Erica shook her head sharply and said, No, this isn't just messy. It's destructive. I don't even know what to say right now. She is evil if she is lying, but everything that Yandy believed is destroyed if she is speaking the truth. Mendeecees looked frustrated and massaged his face with both hands, but he chose to remain at the table rather than go after his wife. Kirk leaned in and whispered, Dude, if my wife left like that, I'd be chasing her. You guys love drama, that's all. Yandy knows where I stand. I don't gotta prove anything to anybody here. That comment was captured on camera flawlessly, and fans played it over and over again, accusing Mendeecees of appearing too comfortable at a time when his marriage was allegedly in jeopardy. Masika, meanwhile delighted in the attention, she added, See, when the truth cuts deep, people run, while staring directly into the camera during her confessional. I don't have to pursue anyone. Her smirk assured the crowd that she would not be giving up anytime soon. The truth always makes people uncomfortable, and I can sit in that comfort all day. At home, Yandy was seen pacing her living room with tears on the verge of spilling. She was seated with a close friend who attempted to soothe her. You gotta breathe, sis. But what if she's not lying? Don't let her win by breaking you like this. With a shaky voice, Yandy shook her head. What if all of the things I've been fighting for have been lies? I established our existence while his absence, protected him, and held him down when he was imprisoned. The anguish in her voice conveyed that regardless of the truth, the harm had already been done. I can't believe I'm even questioning this right now. Online, Masika's assertions started to get out of hand. Blogs uncovered old interviews of Mendeecees admitting that he hadn't been faithful in earlier relationships. Old videos of Yandy sobbing about trust difficulties with him reappeared, supporting the theory that Masika might not be doing this at random. Although unsubstantiated, the timing was sufficient to persuade many fans that Masika and Mendeecees were spending time together away from cameras. According to an anonymous direct message, posted on one site, never one to stay on the sidelines, Eric chose to further stir things up. I'm just saying, if it wasn't true, why hasn't Yandy come out strong? She added, leaning over the table during a girls' brunch. Spice scowled. You really think she needs to explain herself to the internet? Silence only makes it worse. Erica rolled her eyes and said, No, sis, that's not fair. Fair? This whole situation is unfair. Now that Masika put it out there, everyone is looking. In this game, silence is equivalent to guilt. When Masika unexpectedly showed up at the invitation of another cast member, the brunch conversation took a different direction. The vibe in the room froze the moment she entered. Even though Yandy wasn't there, her absence was noticeable. So, Masika, are you going to put all your cards on the table? Or are you going to continue playing these games? Asked Eric without wasting any time. Do you mean that you have or have not been with Mendeecees? Masika grinned and sipped her drink slowly. I didn't say anything specific, you see. I only spoke the truth about what I had witnessed. People are free to make assumptions if they so choose. Spice leaned closer and said in a doubtful tone, No, girl. You can't be acting coy while hurling bombs like that. You're either spilling or you're not. Masika's smirk became a piercing smile. Let's just say that I remember things that men tell me in private. And I certainly don't have to tell lies to attract attention. With the other women exchanging stares that screamed astonishment mixed with curiosity, the atmosphere was overwhelming. Every glimmer of uncertainty in their eyes was captured on video. Later, viewers were enthralled, rewatching the scene and discussing online whether Masika was bluffing or quietly confessing. Look, I don't trust Masika as far as I can throw her, but she's too smug to be bluffing, Erica said during her confessional. I've witnessed such women. They only speak in this manner when they have evidence to support their claims. And Lord help Yandy if she does. In the meantime, Mendeecees was eventually addressed by Yandy at home. As she stood in the kitchen with her arms crossed, the unadulterated emotion was captured on tape. Will you look me in the eye and tell me that this woman is untruthful? Mendeecees slammed his fist on the counter, obviously upset. I told you it was a lie. Because she wants attention, she's attempting to ruin what we have. Yandy's eyes grew wide. But why does she exude such confidence? She acts as though she knows something that I don't. But why? Why won't she stop? His quiet at that precise moment was more powerful than words. And as she muttered, "God, please don't let this be true," the cameras focused on Yandy's face. As their home fell apart, Masika continued to fuel the flames. She chuckled during a different live session, saying, "Baby, I don't have to chase clout. People get upset when I talk, yet they always listen. Clout hunts me." Fans poured in the comments, with some applauding her for exposing lies and others pleading with her to stop Yandy. Ask yourself why. However, she doubled down the more criticism she received. The pivotal moment occurred when an enigmatic video appeared online. A man who appeared to be Mendeecees was seen late at night entering a hotel lobby in the blurry video. Minutes later, a long-haired woman appeared, her face partially obscured, but several claimed it looked like Masika. The internet went crazy even though nothing was verified. "That's him without a doubt," an admirer wrote. Others claimed it was staged for dramatic effect, but the harm was already done. You can see it in his walk. The fandom was rocked by Masika's decision to share the video with the ominous message, "It's always the ones who scream loyalty the loudest." Mendeecees immediately refuted it, calling it desperate lies. Why would she repost it at all if she wasn't involved? The narrative may have been destroyed by her silence, but instead she gave it more fuel. The fan responses were harsh. For days, hashtags urging Yandy to quit Mendeecees were popular. Critics accused her of playing dumb, while fans swamped her page with words of encouragement. In the meantime, Yandy shared a photo of her children along with the words, "My only focus," which fueled even more conjecture among admirers. Was she choosing to ignore the drama, or was she tacitly endorsing the dissolution of her marriage? During filming, Rashida, Spice, and Erica all discussed the matter. Always the realist, Rashida shook her head and said, "Dude, this is more than a rumor." Spice groaned, "But it's destroying Yandy. Either Masika is lying through her teeth, or she's going to destroy this entire house. After everything she has done for that man, she doesn't deserve this mess." "Deserve it or not, truth always comes out," said Erica, shrugging. "I simply want to view the receipts." Producers pushed for a meeting between Masika and Yandy since the city was humming. Despite his hesitation, Yandy finally consented, resolved to confront the woman who had been interfering with her marriage. One of the most spectacular encounters in the history of hip-hop and love was put in motion. As they sat across from one another with cameras rolling and cast members observing from the sidelines, the tension was oppressive. Masika said calmly but sharply as she leaned forward, "Yandy, I don't hate you. I genuinely admire you. However, respecting you does not imply that I will remain silent in the face of reality." With her hands shaking in her lap, Yandy said, "Then tell me. If you have something to say it now. You think you know your husband, but you don't know the half of it." With an unfathomable gleam in her eyes, Masika grinned. "Some facts aren't yet ready to be revealed, but you'll see for yourself when the time comes." There was silence in the room. The words hung in the air, causing Yandy's face to fall and her heart to drop. Everyone was left feeling uneasy and wondering how deep this controversy really went as the confrontation abruptly ended. Not with clarification, but with even more questions. The tension in the air didn't go away after the sit-down finished. Rather, it intensified. With a drooping head and an enigmatic face, Yandy left the building. The eerie silence that seemed to loom over her was captured by the cameras as they followed her. Masika remained sat and continued to smirk while drinking. To many onlookers, Masika appeared to have won that round by sowing enough doubts to make Yandy feel completely shaken, rather than by demonstrating anything. The blogs didn't waste any time. Fans couldn't get enough of the drama, replaying clips, zooming in on Yandy's teary eyes, and debating in comment sections who was actually telling the truth. Screenshots of the confrontation went viral online with captions like, "The moment everything fell apart," and "Masika leaves Yandy speechless." At home, Yandy made an effort to maintain a strong facade for her children, but her weaknesses were becoming apparent. She sat with her best friend on her bed in a passionate moment, speaking hardly louder than a whisper. "I feel as though I'm in a bad dream. Every time I believe it to be merely rumors, something else occurs that causes me to reconsider everything. I'm breaking on the inside, but I don't want my kids to see it." Mendeecees, meanwhile, was trying to clear his name, but the more he talked, the less credible he came across. "Yo, this is all cap," he swore during a moment with the guys in the barbershop. "Masika is out there attempting to discredit me, but she has nothing. She would have dropped them by now if she had receipts." Kirk nodded but mumbled, "Still, buddy, perception is everything. It appears worse the more defensive you become. You need to find a way to stop this before it becomes worse." However, it was already larger. In an attempt to find any indication of flirtation, followers were now searching through previous recordings of Masika and Mendeecees meeting at events. Slow-motion clips of them laughing in the same corner of a party began spreading on TikTok, with remarks such, "Look at the body language. Something ain't right," Spice told Masika. "You need to chill, girl," in an attempt to mediate a conflict during a gathering. "Oh, I realize it," Masika shot out without hesitation. "But you don't realize the damage you're causing. However, lies are what cause harm, not me." Spice shook her head, saying, "I didn't cause the mess. I just pulled back the curtain." Masika's eyes tightened. "Funny, because last time I checked, the only person breaking that family is Mendeecees himself. But it's breaking a family, and that's on your conscience." Everyone in the room gasped in surprise at Masika's audacity. Rasita moaned, "Lord, this is too much," as Erica sat back in her chair and grinned, obviously amused. At last, the strain drove Yandy to the brink. She sat in their kitchen across from Mendeecees in a late-night scenario, her eyes stained with tears. She spoke firmly and tremblingly, "I need the truth. I deserve to know if there is even a shred of this that is true." Mendeecees slapped his fist on the table in frustration, saying, "Don't make me look foolish in front of the world. As I have stated, it is untrue. Why do you trust her more than I do?" "Because she's so certain," she said, her voice cracking. "Because she says things that only a close friend or relative would understand. Because you become irate rather than comforting me each time I ask." The silence that followed was terrible. Mendeecees eventually said, "I'm tired of defending myself for something I didn't do," and left Yandy alone herself at the table, crying at last. Social media was brutal. Mendeecees were accused of gaslighting by fans who analyzed the scene. "If a man is innocent, he proves his wife wrong with facts, not with anger," read a comment that went viral. Others defended him, claiming that Masika was slanting the story, saying, "His silence speaks volumes." But regardless of one's stance, the plot had engulfed the entire fandom. When a startling report emerged that Masika had received text messages from Mendeecees, the situation worsened even worse. A well-known gossip blog claimed to have seen screenshots of late-night discussions that looked too familiar to be innocent, but the story was unsubstantiated. One claimed message said, "You know I can't stop thinking about you, but you gotta keep quiet." Though the blog disguised the names, followers connected the dots instantly. Naturally, Masika used the koi card. The internet went crazy when she smirked and remarked, "Receipts always reveal themselves when the time is right," in response to a fan asking her directly during another live if she had texts from Mendeecees. While some admirers thought she was kidding, others thought she was preparing for a surprise announcement. Yandy, saddened by the whispers, confided in her sister during a raw, emotional encounter. "I am unable to eat or sleep. Everyone seems to be watching me and waiting for me to lose it." Her sister pulled her close and reassured her, saying, "You've been through worse, and you survived. I don't want to give Masika the satisfaction, but I don't know how much longer I can take this. This storm will pass too," she said. But the uncertainty in Yandy's eyes suggested she wasn't entirely convinced. When the producers planned a group trip in an attempt to unite everyone, the drama quickly reached a breaking point. Rather, it became a battlefield. Erica sparked a heated argument at dinner when she asked Masika directly, So when are you going to dump these so-called receipts? We're all sick of speculating, Masika said steadily as she lifted her glass. Already tense, Yandy slammed her napkin on the table and said, "You'll see exactly what I'm talking about when the time comes. I'm finished playing these games. You have to say it now or you'll never speak again." As Masika leaned across the table, her voice dripping with hate, the cameras panned in. "My dear, don't discuss games with me. You're only now recognizing you've been a pawn in your husband's real game." The table erupted. Erica grinned at the mayhem in front of her. Kirk shook his head and said, "This is out of control." And Spice yelled for them to stop. With tears in her eyes, Yandy got to her feet and yelled, "You won't ruin my family!" before hurriedly leaving once more. This time, Mendeecees followed, but the harm was already done. While the rest of the group attempted to comprehend what had just transpired, Masika reclined back with her smirk firmly in place. Mendeecees held her close but remained silent as the episode came to a close, leaving fans more confused than ever. Yandy sobbed outside in her husband's arms, her voice breaking as she whispered, "Please, just tell me the truth, whatever it is. I can handle the truth, but I can't handle these lies." The aftermath of that spectacular supper persisted into the following day. The aftermath was captured on camera. The villa was silent, but for the sound of doors slamming and muffled voices coming from behind locked rooms. Masika continued to drink coffee by the pool as if nothing had happened, but Yandy had not talked to anyone since leaving. The remainder of the cast sat in uncomfortable groups, exchanging theories and murmuring. The silence was finally broken by Spice. "I'm unable to even eat at the moment. Last night, that was too much. Look, I understand it's messy, but if Masika is telling the truth, she's not wrong. Yandy is in pain and Masika doesn't even care." Erica shrugged. "Yandy has been behaving as though her marriage is flawless." Rosita shook her head, saying, "No, this goes beyond television drama. Perhaps this is her reality check. This whole thing is dragging down the mother who is battling for her family." In the meantime, Yandy sat with Mendeecees behind closed doors, her eyes puffy from sobbing and her face exhausted. "I can no longer do this," she said. Despite Mendeecees' best efforts to reassure her, his words fell flat. The rumors, the stares, the silence, "It's breaking me." "It's just noise, sweetie." With a mix of love and agony, Yandy gazed at him. "You know me. You know us. Do I? Because I don't even know who you are anymore at this moment." Masika made her own confession outdoors in an unrepentant tone. "I don't care that people despise me for speaking the truth. I don't owe you quiet, Yandy. I owe no explanation to the world. I owe myself honesty and I will never be silenced by anyone. If she is angry, that is her problem." When they returned to Atlanta, the tension persisted and the drama only got worse. More rumors were stoked when leaked video saw Masika and Mendeecees fighting angrily off camera. The sight of them pointing fiercely at one another in a parking lot was enough to ignite blogs, even though no clear words could be made out. One admirer said, "See, this shows they've been talking behind the scenes." "That ain't proof, that's just them fighting," said another. "You all overestimate nothing." But then came the unexpected turn. A well-known gossip blog received a message from an anonymous tipster who claimed to have evidence of late-night phone conversations between Masika and Mendeecees. The blog shared images of a call record, showing timestamps that suspiciously matched the evenings Masika had gone online, but with obscured numbers. Fans seized on it, believing it to be the smoking gun, even though it was yet unconfirmed. Yandy's world appeared to fall apart even further. She sobbed in front of her mother in one of the season's most poignant moments. "I put up a fierce fight for this family. When no one else would support him, I did. I feel foolish now because I stood up for a man that everyone else saw for what he truly was. Whether this is true or not, I'm not sure if I can forgive it. Don't let anyone make you feel less than the queen you are," her mother whispered as she gave her a tight hug, saying, "The damage is done." But Masika just stepped up her efforts. She made the audacious decision to attend a gathering knowing that Yandy would be present. The two women across the room locked eyes and the tension was intense. Masika strode forward, her heels clicking on the ground as she spoke in a calm yet piercing tone. "You're still upset with me, Yandy? Or angry with him?" The words sliced like a razor through the cacophony. Yandy stood motionless, a mask of anguish and rage covering her face. She yelled, "You don't have the right to enter my life and destroy it." Masika smiled again. "I didn't pull anything apart, baby daughter." The audience gasped, cameras panned in, and again, the internet burst with video of the exchange. "I just told the part you didn't want to see," the speaker said. "Part you didn't want to see," the speaker said. Fans were split more than before. While some hailed Masika as fearless, others referred to her as heartless for bringing a family through turmoil. Masika is playing chess, not checkers, according to one widely shared comment. Another said, "No, she's toxic, but she knows exactly what she's doing." This is destroying, not revealing. Mendeecees, at his lowest, confronted Masika face-to-face in a private setting. "You must end this right away. You are destroying lives." Masika's tone was icy as she stared him in the eyes and said, "My wife is crying because of you." "No, you're the reason she's crying. You know what you did, so don't blame me for your sins." His expression, which was torn between remorse and wrath, only served to fan the flames. The reunion taping was the season's high point. Tension was high as the cast sat under the bright lights. Without any delay, the host turned to Masika. "Did you have an affair with Mendeecees or not?" The room fell silent as everyone's gaze was fixed on her. Masika paused just long enough to create tension while leaning back in her chair. "I never said we had an affair," she finally stated. "I stated that there are facts that Yandy is unaware of. She is free to choose whether or not to confront them. So are you denying it?" the host asked again. Masika grinned. "I don't have to affirm or deny." The evasive response simply made the situation worse. The truth always reveals itself. Mendeecees shifted uneasily and avoided eye contact, while Yandy sat with her face fixed on a rock and her hands shaking in her lap. "That's not a denial, sis," Erica whispered as she leaned over to Spice. "That is actually a disguised confession." Fans flooded timelines with videos and hot takes as they lit up social media throughout the reunion. While some said Masika was merely playing mind tricks, others swore she had just verified everything without saying it aloud. But despite differences of opinion, everyone concurred that the incident had permanently damaged the picture-perfect image of Mendeecees and Yandy. There were still unanswered questions at the end of the reunion. Masika sat quietly in her seat, unconcerned, as Yandy left the stage in tears, followed by Mendeecees. With claims this explosive and answers this vague, the truth may never be fully known, the host said in closing, echoing the fans' sentiments. A split cast, a shattered marriage, and a lady who wouldn't give up were shown as the cameras faded off. For viewers, it was the kind of turmoil that kept them riveted to their televisions, engaged in never-ending online debates and anticipating the next puzzle piece to fall into place. One thing is certain when the dust settles on this blockbuster plot. Viewers are left more perplexed than before. Did Masika really reveal a covert affair? Or was she just stirring things up to create the most drama? Is Mendeecees innocent amidst a barrage of charges, or did he cross a line? Above all, how will Yandy bounce back from the agony of being pulled through the mud in front of everyone? Friendships have been put to the test. The family is clearly upended, and viewers are left feeling torn. While some contend Masika is fabricating a story to garner attention, others think she has presented the harsh, uncompromising truth. Additionally, some people believe that Mendeecees' silence says louder than any denial ever could. The future of one of the most well-known couples on reality TV is at stake. The questions are still unsolved, and the scars are still raw. However, we would like to hear from you today. Do you believe Masika was courageous for speaking up or reckless for making untrue accusations? Is this just another instance of reality TV drama going too far? Or do you think Mendeecees has something to hide? And after all of this turmoil, do you think Yandy should stick by her man or leave for good? Your opinion is just as significant as the story itself, so please share your opinions in the comments section below. In order to ensure that you don't miss the next scandal, if you were as engrossed in this drama as we were, Please hit the like button, subscribe for more astounding updates, and enable your notifications. We assure you that if this odyssey has taught us anything, it is that there is still more to be discovered.